Okay, so here's another example. We're going to do lateral surface area and total surface area of this rectangular prism. So you notice this one has some decimals, so we have a little bit more work cut out for us. So let's look at lateral surface area. Lateral surface area is the perimeter of the base, that's what the big P stands for, times the height. So remember, perimeter of the base. So we need to identify what is our bases. So the bases are the two sides that are opposite each other and connected by a vertical side. So these are our bases. And in order to get perimeter of a rectangle, you learned way back in 5th grade, maybe 4th grade, and definitely 6th grade, that perimeter is twice the length plus twice the width. So I'm going to use this formula right here in place of the P. So my lateral surface area is twice the length, so this is my length, and this is my width. So twice the length plus twice the width. And then I'm going to multiply that by the height of the prism, which is 5.5. Okay, so lateral surface area is 1.6 times 2 is 3.2 plus 1.2 times 2 is 2.4. Whatever I get there, I'm going to multiply by the height of the prism, which is 5.5. So 3.2 plus 2.4. So if you don't know, you can do 3.2 and 2.4. Make sure you bring that decimal straight down. 2 plus 4 is 6, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So that is 5.6. So now I'm going to do 5.6 times 5.5. So let me erase this. 5.6 times 5.5. So I'm going to take out my decimals first. So 5.6 has one decimal place, and 5.5 has one decimal place. So I'm making them escape. Okay, so now it's just 56 times 55, and I'll deal with those decimals at the end. I have a total of 2 decimals, one here and one here. So my answer has to have 2 because 1 plus 1 is 2. 5 times 6 is 30, carry a 3. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28. Because I am done with this 5 and I no longer need it, and I have one more place value right here, I'm going to exit out and put 1 0 down here. That 0 is saying that I am shifting over one place value, so I no longer need this set. So now I'm going to do 5 times 6, which is 30. So I'm going to put a 0 under the 8 and carry a 3. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28. I'm going to put an imaginary 0 there just to keep things lined up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. Carry a 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. My answer has to have 2 decimal places in it. One for this number and one for that number. So I start on the right and I go 1, 2. Because it ends in a 0, I don't need that one. It's just a placeholder. So my answer will be 30.8. So my lateral surface area of that rectangle up there is 30.8 meters squared. So that's lateral. That's these 4 sides that are not shaded in. Now we're going to talk about our total surface area. So our total surface area is perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times area of the base. So the big P means perimeter of the base, and the big B means area of the base. So this one right here, this perimeter of the base times the height, we already did that. We did that over there. So I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to plug this number in place of that formula. So the total surface area is 30.8 plus 2 times the area of the base. So my base is a rectangle. And in order to find area of a rectangle, you learned way back when that area is length times width, or base times height. So I'm going to plug that in place of the big B. So my total surface area is 30.8, which is my lateral surface area, plus 2 times 1.6 times 1.2. So now order of operations says I have to solve what's inside the parentheses first. So I'm going to do that up here. So this number has 1 decimal place, and this number has 1 decimal place. So those decimals basically escaped, but they have to go back in at the end. 1 plus 1 is 2. So your answer has to have 2 decimal places. 2 times 6 is 12, so I put a 2, carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I am done with the 2. Because I'm done with this 2, I'm going to drop a 0 below it. You cannot move over to the 1 unless you drop a 0. 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 2, 9, 1, and 2 decimal places. So I start here and I go 1, 2. So that is 1.92. So my total surface area is 30.8, which is the lateral, plus 2 times 1.92. This 1.92 is the area of only one of those rectangular bases, but there are 2. So that's why we now have to multiply it by 2. So 1.92 times 2. So I have 2 decimal places. They're going to go in at the end. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. Carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 decimal places. See, I start here and I go 1, 2. So the area of both of these bases combined is 3.84. So now I have my sides, which is 30.8, and I have my bases, which is 3.84. So now all I have to do is add these two numbers together. Remember, when you add decimals, you have to line them up. And then I have 3.84. So you see how there's a gap here and a gap here on both of those? We're going to put zeros there as placeholders. That's just going to help us keep everything lined up. Remember, whenever you add or subtract decimals, all you have to do is bring that decimal straight down and you leave it there. 0 plus 4 is 4. 8 plus 8 is 16, so I put a 6 and carry a 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 3 is 4, and 3 plus 0 is 3. So the total surface area of that rectangular prism is 34 and 64 hundredths, or 34.64.